All right. No surrender. Now, I want to say this right now. At this moment, you're probably seeing a 1080p, but the frame rate has been dropped down because I just noticed with the original video I did, which was almost 60 frames a second, I only got like 15 minutes. I think I might be able to get 25 minutes out of this one because this is 1080p and this is almost 24 frames a second. So I wanted to see if I can get more time out of it because I want to try and do this stuff in 1080p. Been doing it for 720p for so long because I wanted as much time as possible to talk, and I'm like, why not try and do it with 10 for a little while? And if it just doesn't seem to work for me personally because I keep having the camera cut off on me while I'm in mid-sentence more than what I normally would, I would do this. I hope you don't mind, and I hope the quality is okay. But no surrender. I just tried to do this 3 times because I tried to add the movie No Retreat, No Surrender. Jean-Claude Van Damme's, I believe, first movie when he started acting, and he played a bad guy. He played a bad guy in No Retreat, No Surrender in the 80s. Was it the early, mid-80s? I think one of the first roles. But was this a good Impact Plus show? Yes. It actually was surprisingly better than I expected. It's better than I thought. I'm not using that as my title. I already did the title already. I don't remember right now. But it was better than I thought it was going to be. And after what we got on Dynamite on Wednesday, guys, one of you guys just left me a message. After I watched No Surrender, I checked to see if I got any comments on my video. And on Dynamite, you know who you are. You are not happy at all about what was going on, particularly with Tommaso Ciampa. Do you now see what I was talking about? I know you like Dynamite. I know you were liking AEW, and you're saying the shows are good. No, they have issues. In this case, major issues. You should not be jobbing out Tommaso Ciampa so damn quick. It don't make a difference if you think because he's an ROH guy, he can do whatever the hell he can do. No. You want to make him feel important. And not after 2 weeks, having 2 matches, he now jobs. Just because they wanted to give Kyle Fletcher the title going into Australia. If they really wanted to make him feel special, it should have been done there with Tommaso Ciampa. Or, not adding Tommaso Ciampa in, have the ladder match there and say the stipulation, hey, we don't challenge each other anymore after this. Whoever wins is never going to be bothered by the other again, and they can't go after the title until they lose it. That would have been better. But no, we got this. It's stupid. But this show, this actually was surprisingly good. It wasn't incredible booking. It wasn't meant to be. It was just a Impact show. But it wasn't bad. Now, we get the opening in Nashville, Tennessee. A battle royal. Whoever wins gets a future number 1 contender shot. Not now. Not now for the Knockouts division, but eventually they'll get their shot. And what do we get? We get Mara Moore, who's part of, they don't really have a name, if I remember correctly, with Tessa and Victoria Crawford. They don't really have a name for the faction, do they? I don't remember. But Mara Moore, you got, of course, Victoria Crawford, you got Tessa Blanchard, you had the returning Rosemary. Where has that girl been? If she's only been exclusive to Explosion, what is the point? She's one of your staple women who has been there for so long. She should be something important. At one point, you had Rosemary as the gatekeeper. Like, you really can't compare her to a John Cena in the sense of the great work that he did compared to her. They're both 2 different companies and the way they booked her and the way they booked him. But you can say she's one of the few women that are left, legitimately, other Alicia and a few others, that has been there the longest, that deserves some respect. And I kind of wish they do something respectful to Rosemary, but they had her in the Battle Royal, and she was the first one out. You couldn't even let her stay in for a while. We haven't seen her in so many months. And she finally shows up on Impact. Finally. And she's in the Battle Royal. But you could not even give her at least the 4th or 5th elimination. She had to be first. Unless, one, her contract is up and she just wanted to do a job. 2, she's injured and she really can't do a lot right now. She didn't do a lot in the ring. 3, they just, well, technically, they didn't care about her. That's how it felt, number 3. So she leaves first. That pisses me off. But we also had Grace. We got Hudson. We got, let me give it to you like this. Am I feeling anything from Jada Stone? No. Still nothing. Is she okay wrestler? Yes, she is. But do I feel anything from her? No. It doesn't mean I hate her. It's just they haven't given me anything to care about her. Tasha Steelz was in there, and she started fighting with her. And I'll give it to you like this. When you see the situation where you're going to see possibly who, I'll give it to you like this. You are going to see Tessa Blanchard now possibly having a feud with Jody Threat. Maybe. That might not be too bad. I mean, they're still not pushing Tessa heavily, which I'm glad about. I'm glad they're not pushing Tessa, but I do believe because she is the leader of her own faction, they should be doing a little bit more with the faction, a little bit more with her this year, and I'm hoping that might be the booking. We are only in February, so we don't know how the booking is for the rest of the year. So her, Victoria, and Mila. It's going to be a big question. Are they going to push them and make them all feel important? And I know people are going to say, dude, are you serious? You want to see Victoria Crawford pushed? Look, I want to make this clear. Very simple. Victoria Crawford is a credible wrestler. She may not be the best. She was never here. But she was here. And there have been wrestlers who are remembered in history, who are average wrestlers, but could still get over. And that's Alicia Fox. She wasn't 100% trash. And now Victoria Crawford, her actual name, she's not trash either. She can still go in the ring. She's still capable. And I'm telling you right now, I'm not telling you that she's top tier, but because of who she is, the credibility she already has made over the 20 years she's been wrestling, whether you like her or not, whether you still think she's a piece of shit or not, she is credible enough to help other wrestlers get over, and sometimes you get her over to make her look good, so whoever you want her to put over will look better. That is how it's supposed to be. In the end, of course, Jody Threat won the match. And now next week we're going to have a match between her and Tessa Blanchard. I'm kind of hoping that this will last a little bit. And if they're going to do something about wanting Tessa to be in the main title picture, which she doesn't have to win, she just could be in it. Eventually, if they're having a real feud, have Tessa tell Jody, hey, put your shot up on the line against me. If I lose, fine. But if I win, I want that shot that you got. That is what I think is going to happen. Well, at least I hope will happen. Next, the International Championship. Trey Miguel versus Stax with Ariana Grace by his side. What did I tell you about Ariana Grace? If you didn't see it, at least that showed she did a decent job of hiding it. I'm sure people say, oh, we all saw it. No, not everyone would have saw it. She didn't do 100% a bad job of trying to show that she is trying to manipulate her dad. Or trying to prove that she wants to be good, but she's actually doing something bad. I said it. The only thing I didn't say was she was going to use the Cobra. I didn't see it. And I'll get to a match in a minute. But as far as anyone's concerned, she was acting like a good girl. And during this match, she stopped acting like a good girl when she smacked Trey Miguel in the face and got ejected for it. But here's the thing. The match was actually not bad. It wasn't a bad match. But, sorry. Oh, allergies are messing with me. Now, Trey, if you haven't remembered, got treated badly by Tony Khan. Someone in that company, or someone's, did not want him there because of what he said and apologized for years ago. I'm not condoning when you start saying some crazy shit online. I'm not. I'm not condoning it. But if you realize you're fucked up, you say, look, I know you won't believe me, guys. I realize I screwed up. I'm sorry. I screwed up. I got to eat it. I've got to accept it. That's me. If I said something stupid on this channel, I would just own up to it without anybody telling me and just say, you know what? To show that I got more to me, I realized I said something stupid. I own up to it before anyone would say it. Because that's just the type of person I am. And when Trey said what he said, and he did apologize for it, you would think that would just leave it. But as you know, nobody cares about that. The only thing they care about is getting something on you so they can use to you later. And that is the reason why he was hired and within a day released. Because someone in that company did not like him and did not want him there. But to TNA's credit, they rehired him. They didn't have to rehire him. He was done. His contract was finished. He decided he wanted to go to AEW with the Rascals. They released him. And after that comment on X saying, something's wrong. I need to take some time to myself. It was obvious he was trying to make it easier for himself while he's gone and trying to get new work. He didn't need to. TNA called him. Or he called TNA and said, look, I know I'm not there anymore. I'm not working here anymore. I couldn't get my work. I couldn't keep it. There was a situation. If he said this, could I get my job back? If he did that, or if Carlos Silva called him, or Tommy Dreamer for that matter, I think Tommy probably called him. If Trey didn't call TNA, it might have been Tommy. Either way, they rehired him. With no questions asked, they were happy to do it and announced happily they re-signed him again. Clearly, that shows that this company, I have my qualms, and I've said this many, many years. I have not always been kissing the ass, never really kissed the ass of TNA. I've always said when they deserve praise, they get it. If they deserve to be crapped on, they get it. Here they deserve the praise because they didn't just back away from it. He was released by AEW and they rehired him happily and announced it, and look what they did. Look what they did. Yes, Jelly Roll was there and his new friend who's also a singer is there. And he got into the ring with him after the match was over and was hugging him. They had been friends for at least a year. They gave him the International Championship. They didn't need to do that. They could have left it on Stacks. But they chose Trey to do it. Why? I believe two reasons. Two. First, because they wanted to show Trey they still believed that he had stock in them. I got that backwards. Sorry, I'm dyslexic. They still see stock in him. They believe that he is still considerable, that he can still do something important. Now, does that mean they're going to give him great booking? No. But it doesn't mean they didn't want to just throw the title on him because it didn't matter. I believe that Trey, over the years, he's proven as an X Division champion. He busted his ass to show that he can be a good wrestler that could bring people to watch. Number two, to stick it to Tony. That they could give one of their titles to a guy that Tony Khan just released within a day because of some other people's qualms with him. They proved that Tony was stupid for releasing him. Because now they gave him the International Championship, which could help the company, of course. And also they could use that for the next couple of months, build him up, and they could throw him into the world title picture again because he was at one point in the world title picture even though he didn't win any world titles. They could do that. They could actually push Trey Miguel into the world title picture. There's nothing wrong with it. Whether he wins the title or not, if they book him right, they will stick it to Tony Khan saying, this is true creative genius. This is true creative writing. What you do in your company is jack. We know how to write. The guy you just discarded really quickly because someone wasn't happy or someone's, we can make him mean something, and you'll wish you had kept him. That's what I thought. Next, I'm okay. Hear me out. I know you're gonna say, dude, I cannot believe Mace Warner did what he did with Matt Action Jackson. I know. Breathe. Huzzah. Breathe. Here's the deal. Mace Warner is now going to be in a feud with AJ Francis because of what he did after the match was over. He showed respect to Matt Jackson. He showed respect that he could still go. He didn't have to do it, but he did. And, of course, AJ thought that he was a total freaking idiot and that his wife Steph DeLander had made him soft. She took his balls, put it in her bag, and basically said, I'm going to make him do what I want, and I want him to be nice to this old-ass man, who was 76. I'm about to say 75. He's actually 76. He will be 77 years old November 11th. Born 1949. My mother would have been, how old was she in 46, 17? She would have been maybe 17, 18, 19, maybe 20 years old when he was born in 49. Dude. Yeah, she would have been 20. Dude. The guy is 76 years old. Yes, he cannot run the ropes like he used to. Yes, he did have to have Mace Warner keep him balanced so he wouldn't fall off the damn ring ropes and busted ass. But he still was willing to do a damn suicide dive onto Mace Warner outside the ring at 76 years young. Okay? He's not like Ric Flair, who literally on his last match with Andrade, with Jeff Jarrett, with Jay Lethal, if you guys remember, he literally had a heart attack on the damn mat. Luckily, he didn't die on the mat. We all thought that he passed out. The boy had a heart attack. Now, I'm not saying it's great to see someone that old doing it, but if they're physically capable of keep doing it, and they love it, and people like it, deal with it. I'm not telling you it was perfect. It wasn't. But this wasn't meant to be a competitive match. It was meant to be something that would spark a feud, but it doesn't mean it was bad for Mace Warner. And it definitely wasn't bad with Jackson at that age, still willing to do all that and do a dive outside the ring and do the corners like the damn Undertaker and Ricky Starks, of course. That's not a bad thing to see. It's fun, see, in that respect. He's a comedic wrestler now. He can't really go anymore. So he's got to do some comedic stuff, and people like it. So that's it. Next, let's move on to let me give it to like this. The tag team match. We already know that the Elegance brand was not going to job here. But this wasn't about the Elegance brand. This was about trying to get Ash started up again. Now, as you already know, Ash, I still don't know what career-threatening injury she had. We still don't know. We don't know what it is. Unless you guys know officially telling me where the article is, we still don't know what was wrong with her. We don't know. If it was an actual serious injury that she didn't think she'd ever wrestle again, I'm glad she recovered from it. But if it was what I think it could have been, where it could have been her going to rehab and straightening herself out, either way, that's still a good thing that she's healthy and she's safe and happy. But we now have something going on between Ash and possibly the returning Mickie James. She showed up near the end of the match. And she messed with Ash. And Ash messed with her. And she went like this, Ash. Yeah, with those big fun bags. She went and made it very clear. You want to try something with me, bitch? You see these? I'll rub them in your face and make you smother. But essentially speaking, if Mickie James is coming back for maybe a stint, a couple of weeks or maybe a month or two, and she's going to go up against Ash as one of the first matches she's going to have back, nothing wrong with that. And let's make this clear. Ash, even though has been made a serious wrestler, she's still a comedic wrestler. She really is. That's the major work that she's known to be. And I'm not telling you she couldn't be serious, because she has. She's not like incredibly serious, but she can be serious. This is something that would be good to get her going, so she will be interesting enough so when they will push her, and they're gonna push her in the main title picture, at least she'll have something to start with. She'll start with Mickie James if Mickie's come back for a match to mess with Ash. Next, Order 4. Let me give it to you like this. I'm going to skip around a little bit. Order 4. And how did I feel about the Righteous working with the Hardys? I honestly, the thing that gets me is that where they're going with this story between the Righteous and the Hardys. They work perfectly fine. It seemed to be perfectly all right. Unfortunately, when I went to the bathroom, it came back. I missed the ending. But I did find out that it was, who was it that won? Ali won, and it was Matt who ate the pin. But I don't know if the Righteous actually turned on them. I had to go to the bathroom. I was holding it for a while. When I came back, it was already over. I don't know if the Righteous did anything or not. Not sure. But it seemed that Matt ate the pin. Then Elijah came out with a casket, which he didn't because someone else was doing Elijah's bit. And Ali came up, beat him up, but Elijah was inside the casket. And the thing is that next week we're going to have a guitar casket match where the casket is in the shape of guitar. Now, since I don't know how many times we've done casket matches in TNA, I say at least 4 or 5 dozen easily. It has been done. But one in the shape of a guitar. Here's the thing. If Elijah was trying to be kind of like an Undertaker type of style of wrestler, I could see this working. I could see this all right. Because a drifter sometimes was an Undertaker. Sometimes. Now, in history, you always had the Undertaker who always was permanent. But there were some guys who were doctors that drifted. And they were also doubling as barbers. And some of them were known to be Undertakers too. Back in the 1880s, 1890s. All right. Sorry, I had to stop it. It was 23 minutes. Almost 24 minutes to 23 minutes. 23 to 24 minutes before the thing clicked off. A little short, but I don't know if I do this again. I might not. But sorry, I'm just thinking off. But like I said, it wouldn't be bad to see if Elijah was doing something similar to The Undertaker. Having that dark attitude where, as a High Plains drifter, like his character's supposed to be, he is the type of person that just comes in from somewhere. He's just with the hat, like this, and could do a whole bunch of stuff, including Undertake. So he would put people into the dirt. That's just me. You guys can tell me below. Now, the match that I'm like, okay. What the hell? Ariana Grace versus Ling Yang Lee for the Knockouts Championship. And don't worry, I'm not forgetting about BDE and Eric Young. I'm getting to the minute. I want to do this one. Guys, I did say this was coming. I did say this was possible that Ariana Grace was tricking her dad. And that if they changed the angle of the camera, we would see her grinning and trying to use him. Like she was holding like, I love you, Daddy. That type of attitude. And I was right. It was exactly what I thought was going to happen. They did the exact panning. And in this situation, she had the Cobra sock on her hand. Well, and in her hand. But the match itself. Ariana Grace has never been known to be a great wrestler. She's okay. She's not bad. Here, this was about her winning that damn title because when Stax lost it, she made it very clear. She better win this match. Or, guess what? I'm breaking up with you, bitch. I'm breaking up with you, you bitch. That's what she basically said. And for Stax' credit, he did everything he could to make sure she can win. They even brought out the Danny Luna. They brought out Doomsday in hopes of distracting Lin Yang Li enough that she could lose. And next to a very, well, let's make it very clear. Did it look legitimate how the Cobra worked? No, because Lin Yang Li, she's never been hit by an actual Cobra. And since it was the first time that either one of them did, like, it looked awkward. There's no lie. But if Santino is passing his Cobra on to his daughter, and she does it more often, she'll figure it out how it should be done, where in the body to hit the person, and the person will learn how to be able to handle the female version of the Cobra. That's what I think needs to be done. So, it looked awkward because it's the first time ever done. I want to make this clear. I'm not condoning it, saying it was perfectly fine because it was not. It looked awkward, but it was still done well enough that she won. She got over. And Daria Ray protecting her from her father, who's angry as hell. I want to see my daughter now. And Daria said, nope, you're not going to do it because this is the reason why I was hired in the first place. You're too damn emotional. You make emotional decisions. And he says, after it was over, all right, if I only... And she goes back to him because as she was walking away, leave it alone. Or you can get fired. And that was after she told him, what did you say? He said, nothing. If you try to use that damn Cobra on me, you will get fired. And next to that, I would break the neck of the Cobra because I'm a former MMA fighter. Well, Daria, if I remember correctly, yes, you're an MMA fighter, but he's a Greco-Roman wrestler. And he knows jiu-jitsu. What, does he know jiu-jitsu? I think he also knows jiu-jitsu. Brazilian jiu-jitsu, as well as Greco-Roman wrestling. Honey, you get your ass handed to him. If he was a female, compared to you as a Greco-Roman wrestler, I believe, and knows some level of Brazilian jiu-jitsu, a female version of him would whoop her ass. So she wouldn't stand a chance in a real fight anyway. So, I'm just saying. But still, it was a good segment. And it promotes and continues to promote the storyline of now Ariana Grace still up against her father. It was exactly what I thought it needed to be. But here's the thing. Was it legitimate? Did it feel like it was real? I know people are going to say it didn't feel real at all. It didn't feel real. I know people are going to say, this didn't feel real. I saw it coming 1,000 miles away. Yes, you did. But if you look at objectively, counting on how it was done, did you believe that other people would see that it's real? Not you. Not me. But if you're going to see how effective it was it effective for others if it wasn't effective for yourself? Because it's never going to be effective for every person. But if you see it for what it was, I say it was maybe about 60% effective. 60, not 90 or 80 or 70, at least 60% effective. It did what it needed to do. It made sure that she tried to fake it, tried to tell her dad, I'm sorry, Stax confused me, I apologize, and they tried to book it where she was trying to stop Stax from acting the way he was doing it. And I do believe it was done generally effectively. A little bit higher than middle of the road. And that's good. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just has to be good. But if it was like total trash, it was so obvious to the point where it looked choppy. Remember, if she hadn't been seen by the camera, if she had been seen by the camera at that time And she just acted stupid, started going, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you, I'm going to get you, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And it's obvious that he could have hurt her. Then it would have been bad. But this is just me, you guys below. Tell me. The match that I was not expecting to be as good as it was. BDE versus Eric Young. Now, BDE has been wrestling now about a year or so. He's done now 27 matches, counting this match. Is he smooth? Yes, he's pretty smooth. He is still a little choppy. He has certain things he needs to work out, like psychology, and learning not to get too winded too quickly, because you go from one move to another, to another, to another. Next to, you got to give it the time to breathe. You also got to breathe, because you can't just keep jumping from one move to another too quickly. One, the other person is going to get tanked quickly. You're going to get tanked quickly, and it can't always show a good story. But I will say, he's generally smooth. He's like middle of the road around here that needs work. That's like someone like a Devon Evans. Not that he didn't know how to wrestle. Devon has been wrestling for many years. But I'm saying it in the respect of him understanding psychology. Psychology is totally different than just in-ring performance. You need to give time for these moves to sink in, for people to enjoy them, to decide they hate you, to like you, or think it's incredible. BDE did good. He was a little too fast, because not that Eric couldn't keep up with him, but it just looked like he didn't give it time to really set and really get into it. Not until near the end, when Eric had to force him to at least slow down a little bit, that it began to make it really interesting for the people. For me personally, it wasn't bad. I was okay with it. Wasn't bad. And of course he lost. And he was not supposed... No, he won. What am I saying he lost? No, wait, didn't he? Oh yeah, that's right. Eric cheap shotted him by hitting him in the nuts. I forgot. He pulled the ref to him, then he hit him in the nuts. And then Eric won. I'm sorry I said it was BDE. Sorry. But it's fine. It didn't hurt him, because he's only been there a few months. It's alright. Final match. This is where it gets interesting, but then really nothing happened. But it did. Tag match. Santana and the returning... finally Leon Slater's back because of the visa problem. It's just back. And then the other two, you got Eddie Edwards, who did have a broken nose. It was confirmed he had a broken nose. And Nick Nimitz. And it was stipulated that if any one of them tried to invoke their clause, like option C for Leon Slater, the Call Your Shot Gauntlet, and the Feast of Fire briefcase, any of them would use, the match would immediately stop, and it would be a one-on-one for the World Championship automatically. Now, the match was okay. It was fine. I didn't really have a problem with it. And I did not expect Steve to come back. But he did. And he started fighting with Mike Santana. So that shows that Mike has an opponent that he knows very well and has a story with him already. And it seems Steve is not done yet. Either he's re-signed or he's gone with an extension of his original contract. That's not a bad thing. If Steve has re-signed, that's great. He has re-signed, that's great. I haven't checked if Steve has re-signed. But if he has, that's great. I like Steve. I really do like Steve. And him transitioning back to a heel is fine. Now, if this is an extension of his contract of another year or a few months, that's also not bad. But the question is, will he go to AEW to be with his wife? That's also a big question. Or this could be a very short program. His contract is not done yet. And before it is done, this will be the last thing he does before he leaves. And that might culminate in Revolution. Because I was thinking maybe it'll be in another couple of weeks. And it could be for an Impact show. But you could stretch this all the way to Rebellion. You could. There's nothing wrong with it. If his contract legitimately ends after Rebellion, somewhere around then, giving him this actually is the wisest thing to do, because he can do the job, do it at Rebellion, and then disappear afterward, which would be great. So was this a good show? Yeah. This actually was surprisingly not bad. It was good. Am I upset about many things? No. But I know people are not going to be happy about the show. But I am giving you a fair assessment of what you got. And I know you're going to say Mike Jackson is a 76-year-old man. Why the fuck do we need to care about him? Because we can care about him. It's not why we care about him. It's that we can care about him. Or you can not care about him. It's your choice to either go for it or not. He's still able to work in a ring and not hurt himself seriously if he can keep doing it and he's enjoying it and he's still fun to watch. Remember, he's got to be fun to watch. If he is, let it keep happening. But it's just my point of view. Peace.